Well, welcome back to the F-14 build, 1/7 scale Skymaster. Been a while. Had a lot going on. Been busy with work. Really busy with work. Trying to get this thing ready for Kentucky Jets. I don't know if I'm gonna fly it. I mean, it's coming down to the wire, and I'm just now getting it to the point where I can get it out and run up the engines and stuff like that. And so we'll see. I had to work through some issues with it, trying to get everything to work right. I've went through already and done a quick setup on it. Finally got the gear working right. I was having problems with the gear. You probably saw from my last videos where it was hanging up. Figured that problem out. Gear seems to be working pretty good now. Even at about 100 psi, it comes up no problem. I blew two today actually. I had two gear door air cylinders completely blow air out. So I don't know what happened. I tested all of them, fixed a couple of them before I put them all in, or put them back in I should say, and then I finally put them up to 100 psi and everything, and it just happened today for the first time. So hopefully I can fix them. If not, I'll try to buy a couple, some replacements at Kentucky Jet. Not a huge deal. Finally got the cockpit in. I was going to make a video showing you how I set everything up to get it in and out. It's quite a intricate process, but I took a lot of pictures step by step. I'm going to post those. Essentially what I did was just made a bunch of little small 1/4 to 1/2 inch square pieces that I cut and put everywhere, and attached little servo screws to hold everything in, and everything's really tight. That I didn't attach this, but what I wanted to do was make it easy to remove, and it's really easy to remove. 2 screws, this comes off, and then I can get the seats out. 1 screw right there is holding this cockpit in. I'm going to put a piece of Velcro up here at the top to hold it here. This is removable here. It's got a piece of Velcro going across the support in the front, and you can see it doesn't go anywhere. I'm actually going to have to, yeah, it's hitting the glass, so what I'll do is shave a little bit off the top of that to get it dropped down a little bit so it doesn't scratch my window here. Actually, probably, there we go. But I essentially took flat pieces of 1/8 ply with a servo screw into the back of the seat, and you can see from the pictures that you turn them. So you turn them vertically, put the seat in, there's a gap between the 2 side pieces, and then you rotate them, one at the top, one at the bottom, and it locks it into the back of the bucket. I had to glue a piece all the way across to mount the front portion of each side bucket, and of course the bottom of the panel. And then I glued this piece in here, which is on top of the carbon support. And it's hard, you can't see them, but I cut 2 1/4 inch, probably about that big square blocks, glued them underneath this cross beam, and that's what these little screws are going into. Back seat, same thing, has a piece of flat ply on it. Put it in vertically, rotate it horizontally, locks it in. And then there's a little floorboard piece that I had to put right there just to cover up the opening. And then this will glue in right on. I'm just going to take some hot glue and attach it to that little board right there. Bam. Perfecto. So, but just wanted to kind of show you what's going on. I had a receiver, brand new, never been flown, Futaba telemetry receiver, like the one that comes with 18 MZ. When you plug it in, it was showing like 95% signal strength, which isn't that bad, but I would get the flashing green light and a message that said hold on the display, which is basically telling you that you're getting a failsafe. So it would flash occasionally, pretty constant, but it would. So thumbs up with that receiver, and hopefully I can get another one here pretty quick. I have another receiver that I could use, but it's the R7003 S-Bus, and it seems to work just fine running it with one of these, but I don't know. We'll see. Mounted a switch, a pin flag switch actually, for the swing wing battery. This is where I feel everything, and I got all my air gauges. It's easy to get to right here. Go ahead and turn this thing on. Alright, pull it back out. Now the battery for the swing wing's armed. Also, since I use this, I can turn the jet on and off with this, but when the nose cone's on, I don't want to have to keep taking it off, just turn the jet off. So what I did is added the magnetic switch to it, and it's sitting right here on the inside. Just take your little magnet. I should turn the radio on first here. How about that? There we go. And then there we go. Take your little piece. You can see a little light flashing. It's going to get noisy, all the digital batteries. But swing wings, still got to adjust them, check, make sure they're in there. I have the programming set up so far that when the switch is set for the wings to swing back, if the flaps are down, they will come up. But the problem I have is when I put the wings back out, because the wings take so long to move out, the switch that made the inhibit for the flaps is no longer in that position, so they immediately go to the down position before they get out past the fuselage. So I got to put a delay on the reverse side when they swing out, but I only have a 7.4 volt battery running the swing wing right now. I got to get a 3 cell, so they're kind of slow, but you can see they work pretty good. And I took, and that's the elevators buzzing. I took and used one channel for the slats and one channel for the slats, which is 4 servos. I used the S-Bus feature and programmed each servo endpoint, midpoint for the 3 positions, full up, half for landing, and then takeoff. So there's a 3 position for the slat, 3 position for the flap, and I did all that with the programming in the servo itself. That way I could use just one channel for the slats, because it's 2 for each swing. So it saved me 3 channels that way. And then when I did the flaps, same thing, saved one channel there, and then I went ahead and put the spoilers on their each channel. But like I said, you put the flaps. It's hard to see there. That's kind of a takeoff. And there's full. It's easier to see on that wing over there. So. I haven't, measured anything yet other than the slats. You do have to make sure that this gap here is more than this gap. That's in the instructions, because they're they go in at the channel's at an angle, so you can't have the same gap all the way down. It doesn't work that way. So, but like I said, if I have, say you have the flaps down and you accidentally you forget the flaps are down, and you hit the swing wing. So, see, they come up, and then now, like I said, the problem is, if I were to hit swing wing back out, because there's no delay on that switch, the flaps would come down before they're out past the thing. So, and then got the elevators right for ailerons. Tied in with a spool, you can see. Hate digital servos, man. They buzz like crazy. But that's this guy buzzing. There we go. And of course, rudder. I used one channel for both rudders. They're matched in the servo, so I saved the channel there. And still, I got to work on this nose steering a little bit. The mechanism is horrible for this. I did do the one mod, but it's still that fine movement. You can see it hard, like it moves it up top, but the wheel is really not moving, and you have very little throw. So we'll see how it goes. Speed brakes, where are those? Ooh, that would be well, that was the Canopy. Come on. What's up with that? There we go. I didn't mean to close that. Whew. Didn't pinch it good. Okay, that's not it, so that must be this one. There we go. I tied the speed brakes into the ailerons, or what do you call those, spoilers, so they both come up with the speed brake. Canopy, I only have one valve for that. It closes, activates this little guy right here, little button valve. I just took some high saw, made a little button here, and then sanded it as needed to make a nice good fit to activate that button. So when the canopy comes down, it hits the button, which has air in it, and then when it presses the button, it releases the air to the locking mechanisms in the front. Saves you an extra two-way valve, but see that? I have to put a little pressure in the nose gear. Let's see if I can show you the gear. Let's see, because I have to kind of lift it up. See if I can set this down. Alright, so there we go. Lift up. Let's see. Put this underneath there. We can kind of see the gear door work. Alright, so there we go. Gear up. And then it has to, that first gear has to close first, and then when you open, the front door has to open before the aft door, because if not, it binds up. So here we go. Just noticed that my flaps came down when I hit gear up. That's funny. Must have something wrong. Alright, so gear down. Bam. Perfecto. So there you go. Hopefully tomorrow I can do crank the turbines up and do some taxi tests. So I'm gonna call it for the night. See, and then when you want to turn it off, there's a little red light. That's on. That's off. That saves me from having to take the nose cone off constantly, just turn it off. This is what you use to do all your programming for your power system, check for faults, check battery voltage, check amps and stuff like that. But I don't have to do that every flight, so I can leave the nose cone on and just turn it on and off here. So, and then once you're done with that, you come over here. It's like a little pin. I gotta put a piece of better Velcro in there. There you go. But that is it. Coming down to the wire, gotta make a holder for that, and I gotta balance it and do final setup. So I got one of these Zycoy balancers. Gotta remove, you need to do it on a hard surface, so I'll take the blanket off and this padding and just put it right on the table and work on the CG and stuff. The only measurement I'm going to have trouble getting is the measurement from the main to the desired CG, which is somewhere like right in here. You know, I was going to put a piece of paper on the table that was long enough and then just do all my lines from, you know, and do the measurements that way. You do have to make sure you level the aircraft, because the F-14 kind of sits nose low. So you bring the nose gear